Hello, welcome to the Houston SWL YouTube channel. I have a radio video for you. I guess you can see that on the screen. This is a Zenith Transoceanic as it's shown here. All transistor as the Zenith badge. Here, Zenith, FM, AM, and multi-band. So here's the side. So this is the knob for the selector to change the different bands on the radio. I'll show you that. I guess the screw must be a little loose. See, it's the band selector. And the back, say Zenith Transoceanic FM AM multiband. This is the Royal 3000. This is made in USA, and I'll show you that. You can open up the back. On the side, there's nothing here. And nothing on this side except the band selector. There's the 3000-1 that has the plug, if I remember right, for 12 volt DC. This is only powered by batteries, so it's uses eight D-cell batteries for the radio, and then there's a ninth one in there that powers the light. So I'll show you that. So I guess this is the handle, which is kind of neat. I'll show you that. And this is the wave magnet antenna for long wave and AM. So there's a little button here. If you depress, this flips down, and so you can see it says Zenith Transoceanic all transistor, and you rotate this band selector. Let me see if I can zoom in for the different bands. So this is FM, long wave, broadcast, then it says weather, marine, and amateur, but it starts down here at the 2 megahertz to 4. This is 4 to 9, whatever. This is 9.4 to roughly 10, 10.1, 11.4 to 12, 25 meters. They're showing the bands over here. 19 meter band for shortwave around the 15 megahertz, and here 16 meter band, 17. So on a lot of these Zenith radios, it's pretty easy to take out the back and slide the whole innards out pretty much. And if you look at this band selector, it's like a big drum with a bunch of contacts and wires and all that. So it's well, kind of a mechanical, I wouldn't say nightmare, but people do have problems with that, causing some static issues with tuning. And so I guess you need to clean those contacts and it'll start working pretty well. This has some 2 latches here on the side right here that the tray fits in, and it drops down. And so there's actual kind of world map with time zones on it. And I guess it originally came with some log paper and logs that you can get and slide into here. And this is I guess where you can select your time zone and see how many hours ahead and what the time in the different time zones are. And so it has a bass and treble knob. And here's the on-off switch. And it has a dial light. So it's a momentary dial light. It doesn't stay on all the time. You have to press it down for the light to come on, and then when you let your finger up, the light will go off. And it has a FM AFC button, so if you tune to an FM station and hit A automatic frequency control, it'll sort of lock onto the station and make it a little harder to drift off. And this is the tuning knob here. So that's the basically the front of the radio with this wave magnet antenna up here, and it has kind of a cool design for the antenna. So there's a a latch here on this side. If you press this in, it flips this part up, and then the handle opens, and lo and behold, inside of the handle is the actual antenna. Kind of neat. I guess it has a detent position here where it'll stay at maybe roughly 45-degree angle. Then you flip it up, it'll lock there at 90 degrees. I guess I had measured it from this bottom of this gold part to the tip was 46 inches, and then from the tip all the way down to the base here roughly is about 57 inches total. So it's really long, and the whip seems to work pretty well pulling in signals. Just drop that down a little bit, and let me go to the back and just open that up. So this just drops down. So this is the battery box that contains the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 9 D-cell batteries. So once those get put in the radio, and the radio is sort of hefty itself, a lot of metal, you know, it's a good little workout. So here's the back. You know, so the kind of the nice thing about these, I guess the transistors here are in sockets. So you can pull them out if you need to and replace them. So that makes it easy to replace. And you see there's a lot of trimmers here. And so it's a fairly involved radio. This is the tuning mechanism from the big tuning knob in the front. So it's not really that long of a routing of the tuning wire. This is a connector that goes up to this wave magnet antenna up here, and behind the battery box there's a number of other transistors. You can see one here, 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 and there's 1, 2 here. So I can't remember how many total there are in the radio, but there's a number of them. And so there's several screws that you can take out. There's, I guess, one down here, maybe hard for you to see. There's one back up here on this side. Testing my memory, I think these two. Anyway, but this whole thing will slide out toward you this way, and you have to take the this comes off. So I guess this, yeah, I thought it was loose. Comes off, and then you can slide this whole thing out. I guess I need to. So this is just held in by a set screw. So I just need to get a long screwdriver and tighten that back up. Stick this back on. Yeah, but look at all these little trimmers that are used for in the alignment of the radio. Since there's a number of shortwave bands, there's a long wave, and then AM, FM. So there's a lot. And then the battery box here with the batteries is connected to the radio through this plug here. And I guess I would like to, maybe I'm thinking about putting a 12-volt connector, I guess, on this side and hooking it up so I can power it instead of using the batteries. That would be a little more convenient. But from what I've read, they said the batteries are supposed to last like 300 hours. So seems like a pretty long time. And also from what I read, this, you know, says tuner, so you can hook up this output to an external audio device, is from what I remember with that. So that's like a quick look in the back of the radio. Let me see if I can tighten this back up and go back to the front. All right, so let me see what I can select here. Let me put it on FM, just start from the top and go down. If I can get something that's not a whole lot of music. But it does have a really good sound, in my opinion.
And everyday low prices. Visit one of our 3 Houston showrooms or shop anytime.
And it seems to be pretty well aligned on FM too. The shortwave bands, the alignment's off quite a bit, so I'm going to have to read up a little bit about that and then give it a shot to realign that.
If you voted in March, you must vote in the same party's runoff.
So I can.
Early voting runs May 18th to the 22nd.
The switch is down on FM.
Is May 26th. For more information, visit harrispost.com.
If I hit the AFC, well, that's staying on that's staying locked on the frequency for quite a bit. So if I hit FM AFC, I can go off to the right, and it's still sort of locking on that signal. But if I turn it off, now it's off already. So that's kind of what AFC does. It's a country music station. I don't know if I'm going to get a whole lot of talking or not.
This is the official radio home of Gasman. Mix.
That's the FM band. This is long wave. I don't know if there's anything to hear. Let's go to AM. There's a number of Spanish stations here in the city. So I have the microphone actually pointed to me, so it's not pointed right at the radio.
Hi, I'm Megan. You're listening to AM 1430, KSHJ Houston, part of the Guadalupe Radio Network. Radio for your soul.
This is a Catholic radio station in town.
Expected to bring a deeper focus to
1320.
People out there really love her, especially if he's a big fan of relevant radio.
This is another Catholic radio station, if I remember, 1110.
About some of the stuff happening on the world stage, whether it happened in China, what's going on in Iran.
Talk radio program. Another Spanish station.
We will be probably
talk radio. This is one of 2 Vietnamese language stations here in Houston. I guess from what I've been researching, I guess Houston has, or Texas has a pretty large Vietnamese population that settled here after the war. I think outside of California, I think Houston has the 2nd largest population of Vietnamese in the United States, if I remember. You know, and since we're close to Mexico, there's a number of Spanish stations here in the city. Alright, so that's AM. Sounds good to me. It's the low end, so it's still kind of light out, so I should probably be waiting to maybe listen on shortwave, but there's not going to be much on this 2 to 4 megahertz range at all. Let me go up to well, I was trying to go to the shortwave bands and the radio has a problem, so let me maybe just keep making the video to see if somebody's run into this problem or can let me know what they think it is. So earlier in the video, FM and AM were coming in fine. I went to the shortwave and then there was no sound. And then if I went back to AM again, there's nothing. But if I go to FM, it still comes in, but now it's all garbled. There's It's not coming in clearly. So it was playing fine earlier, not long ago in the video, and now after rotating this, so I was thinking it was, this happens before, I was thinking it was something in this drum switch, but let me leave it on FM so we can at least maybe hear something. So I know these are the two FM transistors here. Then you got some other of these transistors here. I'll turn that down. These transistors here are like with the for the mixer and the RF and the oscillator here. There's 3 here that are for the first, second, third IF transistors, if I remember. Let's see. Yeah, and then this is the. And there's one under here, if you can see that. That's the driver, and this is the first audio output, and then these are the mix match pair. So I believe all of the audio goes through the same audio circuitry. I'll need to confirm that, but if you know, let me know. So at least from FM, now it can get all distorted. I guess we're hearing something out through the speaker, but for AM and shortwave, it's quiet. Nada. It's not picking up anything, no static, nothing. Like it's dead. So actually I sent this off to get the capacitors changed. I guess the guy who had it ran into the same problem. He kept it, well, he sent it back, and then I had to I sent it back to him. He ended up saying there's some, I guess there's a connection here. He first thought it was the battery box, not making good connections, not supplying 12 volts to the radio. He said there seemed to be a bad connector solder joint in the back here from the battery box. That's what he was focusing on. So after I got the radio back, it was working fine. Alignment was off a little bit on 2 bands, shortwave bands, but otherwise it was working. Now, after rotating the dial, trying to switch to another band, it's not. So if anybody has experienced this, might have any suggestions on what to try, I'm all ears. So looks like that's going to cut this video demonstration kind of short, but that's sort of what happens in the real world. So again, let me know if you have any thoughts on the matter. I can scroll through all of these shortwave bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Nothing. AM. Quiet as a mouse. Church mouse. Long wave. And then FM. Well, tuned, but it's not working like it should. All right. Well, so that's the video on my Zenith Transoceanic that has some problems, but hopefully we'll be able to figure it out in due time. So, all right. Thanks for watching, and if you like the video, give it 2 thumbs up or a thumbs up, and let me know any suggestions you have on getting the radio working. All right. Aloha. All right, here's a part 2 of the Zenith Transoceanic video. Now when I turn the radio on, now FM is totally dead. It's not even getting any distorted audio at all. You can hear that. So, I mean, there's some type of power there. But, you know, AM, FM, AM and shortwave, there's nothing. And on FM, where it was at least picking up signals, it's not picking anything up. So let's go around to the back. of the radio. So let's check the, I guess I wanted to check the battery box. So let me pull off this connector. You can see here. So if I remember reading the connector diagram, so I wanted to check the voltage coming out of the battery box here. So here we go. So the battery box is putting out roughly a little over 12 volts. And if we go from there to this other point, there should be 1.5, or that's the additional one. So we're getting that additional 1.5 volts for the light. So this is giving a total of 13.96. So if we go to yeah, so here's the one additional 1.5 from these two here. Gives that additional, this is the here to here is the 12 volts. 12 volts. So the battery box is putting out 12 volts. Let me plug that back in. So I plugged the battery box connector back in, spun it around, turned it on. It's not getting anything. So maybe one good thing about this radio, it does have some test points up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I do have the manual, and so it tells us, service manual tells us what the voltages should be on these test points for AM and FM. Let me just make sure what we're on here. So we're on FM. Power it up, turn the radio on. Alright, so let me get some test leads and clip this on, and let's see what we're getting on the test points. So here we go. This is number 1. So according to the manual, get this up here where you can see it. It says it's supposed to be negative 0.08. We're at negative 0.06. Put that. Let's go to number 2. This is supposed to be negative 0.88. We're at 83. Negative 0.88, negative 0.83. This is supposed to be 0. We're at 0. Negative 0.38. It's good. It's supposed to be negative 0.41. Pretty close. And negative 0.55. We're at 53. So that was FM. So according to these test point voltages in the service manual, it's looking pretty good. Let's see for AM. We'll go back to number 1. This should be like negative 1.06. We're at 1.08. This should be 0. Yep. This should be negative 0.78. Pretty close. Negative 0.05. Should be 10.2. We're at, or negative 10.2. We're a little above that. This should be negative 6.9. We're at 7.5. And negative 6.7. It's 7.2. So I mean these test points have voltages on them. So I guess I'm assuming the battery box through this connector is supplying voltage to the circuitry coming out on these test points, and they're reading the correct voltage. So we're not getting any kind of audio coming out to the radio. So I'm thinking that's something to do with maybe the audio section. Could it be the drum rotator switch? Seems like that'd be a whole number of connections not making to not hear anything on any of the bands. So I'm thinking that's probably not the issue, but hey, I'm just a beginner at all this. So we're up, so you can hear noise. So it seems like there's something wrong maybe with one of the stages, audio stages maybe. So anyway, if you run across this on your Zenith Transoceanic, I guess again let me know, and hopefully eventually you can get this working. All right. Talk to you guys later. Aloha. All right, this is Houston SWL. Got a follow-up on the Zenith Transoceanic problems I was having with basically the radio being dead. I went back and checked all of the transistors with the multimeter between the base emitter, base collector. Everything seemed good, but on some of these germanium transistors, some of them have a fourth lead, which is for a shield that's connected. That lead connects to the case, and from what I've read, they can have a problem with it might be tin whiskers. Anyway, I guess something can due to the chemistry, I guess in there, some conductive material can start basically growing in there and could potentially short out the transistor. So I think I checked, so all of these, there's 3 over here for the RF oscillator and the mixer. These are for the FM transistors, these dark ones, and then there's 3 up here for the IF. I guess 1 over here, the driver, and then the output matched pair, and 1 here is the first audio. So when I checked this one, that fourth shield lead, or when I measured from, I forgot which side it was. I think it was the emitter. Had continuity to the shield. So anyway, for these 3, I just bent back that additional shield pin, and I did them on all of these, but I hadn't done it on these 3 for whatever reason. I guess I forgot. So once I did that, plugged the transistors back in, turned the radio on, and lo and behold, it's working. So I hadn't checked to see how well it's sounding, but at least we're getting something back.
Check it for infections.
In Houston all day. Stream it all on the free 93Q app or online.
It seems to be working okay. Go back to AM.
About a fake ID. The first 7 points.
So AM is working, and this interesting thing about here, if you can see, I guess this radio has some notations noted as CD, and then I guess when I looked this up, that means civil defense. So I guess back in the day, in the 60s, I guess at least when this radio came out, I guess in case there was some type of, I guess war or conflict, the national emergency type situation going on in the United States, you can tune to these frequencies to listen in on, what may be happening in the country. So I guess only certain years, from what somebody told me, a span of years, I guess radios back in that era, I guess would have marked, this is marked with CD. I think others had like a triangle or something denoting those specific frequencies to get information on any kind of national emergency situations.
This is the
So we'll go to shortwave. I guess the alignment on shortwave is pretty off. So I'm gonna have to go and figure out how to align the radio. But it seems to be working pretty well. A lot of Spanish stations. But let me just show you. So normally WWV would be here. What is that? 10.1. So let's see, the alignment is off by a pretty fair amount. I don't know if we can get WV should be somewhere around here. I don't know if we can pick it up. It's going to be coming in at all. Here we go. So instead of being at 15, it's way up here at 15, I don't know, 1 something or other. But I'm just glad the radio's back working, and I'll figure out how to align it. Like I said, I have the service manual, so just never did an alignment on a radio before, but sure I can figure it out. So I got the radio back up and running, which is great. So thanks again for watching these videos, and I'll be talking to you later. Aloha.